Hi, Mrs. Jeffers here. Today we're going to talk about a theme that is really important to me, and I hope that it is also something that is or will become important to you too. So the quote that I have to share with you says, "Start each day with a grateful heart." I wonder how many of you have ever heard of that word grateful before. Start each day with a grateful heart. Think about what you think that could mean. Now, the word grateful is also sometimes called gratitude. They kind of mean the same thing, grateful or showing gratitude. And that is the quality of being thankful. It also means the readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. So we talk a lot about gratitude around this time of year when it comes to the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah. We really want it to be important to be thankful for the items that we have and the people that we have in our lives. And we want to be able to show them that we care for them, maybe by doing nice things for them, maybe by giving them presents around this time of year. And if someone gives us something, being appreciative of that and making sure that we are grateful and say thank you and we appreciate that. Because there's going to be a lot of gift giving around this time of year. But gratitude is not just important around the holiday season. It is important each and every day. Now, I bet some of you have already started thinking about your wish list. I want to tell you a story about when Mrs. Jeffers was a little girl. I, too, had a wish list of things that I wanted. And the thing that I wanted more than anything else was a phone. Now, this phone is not just any phone. It was the best phone that was around when I was about your age. And I'm going to show you a picture of what it looked like. This is what it looked like. Very different from a lot of the phones that are around these days. But this phone was the biggest item back when I was a kid, and I wanted it so bad. But I didn't get it. And I was disappointed that I didn't get it. But it taught me a lesson in gratitude, to be thankful for the things that I had. Did I need this? No, I didn't need it. I wanted it, but it wasn't something I needed at that time. And so I want to share with you a story called Those Shoes that is also a story about wants and needs and being grateful for the things that we have. Now take a look at the cover of this book, because there's 4 boys on the cover. And the main character of this story is a boy named Jeremy. Now I want you to take a look at the shoes that the boys are wearing and the looks on their faces, because I love to use those feeling detective skills. And I'm looking at the 3 boys that all have the same shoes that seem a little bit happy. And then I see a boy with some other shoes. And I'm using my feeling detective skills. He's got his hands in his pockets. His head looks a little down. He looks a little bit sad to me. So let's find out why that boy might be sad when we read those shoes. I have dreams about those shoes. Black high tops, 2 white stripes. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for one around here, just need, Grandma says. And what you need are new boots for winter. Brandon T comes to school in those shoes. He says he's the fastest runner now, not me. I was always the fastest before those shoes came along. Nate comes to school in those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times in one day. Just so he can walk up and down the hall real slow. Next, Alan, Jacoby, and Terrence each get a pair. Then one day, in the middle of kickball, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you could use a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Alfoy, the school counselor, says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff that he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoes that are in my size. Velcro, like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They have an animal on them from a cartoon I don't think any kid ever watched. When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacoby takes one look at my Mr. Alfrey shoes and laughs. And so do Terrence, Brandon T., and everyone else. The only kid not laughing is Antonio Parker. At home, Grandma says, "How kind of Mr. Alfrey." I nod and turn my back. I'm not going to cry about some shoes. But when I'm writing my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes, and my grip is so tight on my pencil, I think it might burst. On Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's check out those shoes you're wanting so much. I've got a little bit of money set aside. Might be enough, you never know." At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. "Maybe they wrote it down wrong," I say. Grandma shakes her head. Then I remember the thrift shops. What if there's a rich kid who outgrew his, or he got 2 pairs for Christmas, or had to give one of them away? We ride the bus to the first thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoes, except the ones I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner is the third thrift shop. I see something in the window. Black shoes with 2 white stripes, high tops, perfect shape, $2.50. Those shoes. My heart is pounding hard as I take off my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. "How exciting," Grandma says. "What size are they?" I shove my foot into the first shoe, curling my toes to get my heel in. "I don't know, but I think they fit." Grandma kneels on the floor and feels for my toes at the end of the shoe. "Oh, Jeremy," she says, "I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit." I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. "They're okay," I say, holding my breath and praying that my shoes will fall off right then and there. But my toes don't fall off. I buy them anyway with my own money, and I squeeze them on and limp to the bus stop. At home, a few days later, Grandma puts on a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my 2 big feet shuffling around in my 2 small shoes. "Sometimes shoes stretch," I say. Grandma gives me a hug. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear my Mr. Alfrey's to school instead. One day during math, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them is taped up, and his feet look smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio is there, the only kid who didn't laugh at my Mr. Alfrey shoes. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape on Antonio's shoes smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think, I'm not going to do it. We leap off the swings. I am not going to do it. We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it, I say. "Do what?" Anthony says, breathing hard. Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. "How come you don't wear them?" Antonio asks. I shrug. My hands are sweaty. I can feel him wishing those shoes were his. That night, I am awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on my shoes one last time. I'm going to pause here just for a second. I wonder how many of you are imagining and trying to predict what might happen next. Let's see if you're right. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. Snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Antonio's apartment. I put the shoes in front of his door, push the doorbell, and run. At school, Antonio is smiling big in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face and mad when I look at my Mr. Alfrey shoes. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere there is snow. "Leave your shoes in the hall and change into your boots," the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hall? It's then I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots. new black boots that no kid has ever worn before. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and give him a nudge. Let's race. So in that story, there was a lot of different concepts when it comes to being grateful and showing gratitude. At first, Jeremy was not very grateful for the shoes that he got because he didn't really like them. But he was then grateful for the new boots that his grandma got for him. He was grateful for the way that Antonio treated him as a friend and didn't laugh at him and was kind to him. And he was able to pay that forward and do something kind for him by giving him the shoes that were too small for him. And Antonio was definitely grateful to have a friend like that. Think about some other ways that we could maybe learn to show gratitude from that story. Some other ideas are giving compliments, which is saying something nice to someone, making eye contact, looking at someone in the eye when they're talking to you, being an active listener, giving a friend a hug, helping a stranger in need. A lot of you just recently did that when we were collecting for the basket brigade. Always say thank you. Oh, that is such an easy and important way to show gratitude. Say thank you. Smile. Be patient. Ooh, one of our life skills. And pay it forward, which means to do something nice for someone because someone has done something nice for you. And that was definitely a way that we showed gratitude in the story, Those Shoes, was by paying it forward. Now, the final thing that I would like to do with you all today is play the gratitude game. So this is how it's going to work. All right, so for the gratitude game, we have a claw machine, and there are different items listed on the ball. And when we choose it, I want you to think of something that represents that category and how you're grateful for it. So I'll show you how it's going to work in the first one. So let's choose our first ball. All right, so this one says an adult at school. So I want you to think of an adult at school that you are grateful for. Maybe it's a teacher or a special area teacher. Maybe it's someone that works in the office. Think of that adult at school and why you are grateful for them. Even better yet, in the next few days, if you see that person, why don't you go and share with them that they were the adult that you thought of when you were playing the gratitude game? That would make their heart so very happy. All right, let's choose another ball and see what else we're grateful for. All right, I want you to think of a place that you are grateful for. Maybe it's a place in your home or a place at school. Maybe it is a place that you've traveled or visited before. What place are you grateful for? All right, let's do another one, maybe over here in the corner. All right, an item of food that you are grateful for. Maybe it's your favorite food, something that you just enjoy eating so very much it makes you happy. Think of a food that you are grateful for. There's a few that come to my mind. All right, let's do another one, maybe over here. All right, a friend that you are grateful for. What friend is it that really maybe goes above and beyond to make you feel special and cared for? And just like before, maybe I even challenge you to let that friend know that that was who you were thinking of when we were playing the gratitude game. That would really make them very, very happy to hear that. Let's do one final gratitude pick. Hope it's a good one. Here we go. All right, maybe a toy that you are grateful for. Think about the items that you have and what you're grateful for having. Now, when it comes to this, I want you to kind of think back to our story and what Jeremy did for Antonio. So he had those shoes that he wasn't wearing because they weren't fitting, and he was able to give those to someone who could enjoy that. You know, think about how you could maybe go through and clean out your room or clean out your closet, and some items of clothing or toys that you don't play with anymore or don't fit you anymore, and maybe you could donate them to someone else who might be able to enjoy them. So that is another challenge that I ask for you. So thank you for talking about gratitude with me today, and have fun spreading kindness with others. Have a wonderful rest of your day.